We welcome you into the Pioneer Basketball Show with Pioneer coach J.T. Burton. The Tusculum Pioneers against the Wingate Bulldogs and the Newberry Wolves this past week go 1-1. I'm Brian Staten, welcoming Pioneer coach J.T. Burton, and I didn't get a chance to be there in Wingate, but I was watching it from afar, and I thought, well, not a bad start, and then about the time that came out of my mouth, Wingate erupted. Wingate goes on a 20-2 run, and they get some huge bench production. They got guys coming in and making some shots. They got guys coming in making a bunch of shots in the paint, and they're making shots from everywhere in the game. And I'm not going to say you got blitzed because I think you expected a very good Wingate team to be ready for you. But I think for me, what I was more surprised with, just the fact that they shot for such a high percentage in the game.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they came out and they punched us right in the mouth, and we didn't punch back. I mean, the game started the game. I mean, it started off, like you said, back and forth, and then it went on a 22 run, and there wasn't enough timeouts to call. Because, I mean, we just couldn't make shots, and they did a really good job of making shots. I mean, I thought we did a pretty good job of scouting them. It's just when the ball goes into the bucket, it's hard to guard, and it's hard to scout. It goes out the window. But, kudos to those guys. It's a tough place to play and win. We only won one time down there, and that was in overtime. So I knew going in they had beat LMU. They was a hot team. They're really they're a pretty good team. So I knew going in we was going to have our hands full.
It's just an interesting feel. You're right. Even though they're making shots, you weren't necessarily making shots. You're kind of living on those second chance opportunities when you don't. But they didn't allow you to rebound. They out-rebounded you. Really did a nice job keeping you off the glass too.
Yes, they did. I mean, I think we ended up. I know they had 13 offensive rebounds and 15 points off of that, and they shot 39% from the three. And how you go look at our percentages, it was really low. We just couldn't put the ball in the basket. And the one thing, coming away from that game is we just got out toughed. And I thought the guys, you going in and you read, you can tell guys, it's like I said, it's social media now. You can read everything. They just don't believe it. But that team, when you watch them on film, though, they probably don't look as good, but in person, they're really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. I mean, I think we kind of got, like we said, we got punched in the mouth and we didn't respond.
You can tell a lot about a game when you look at some of the numbers. You can't always say, well, because we got outscored in the paint, that was bad. But this was a very physical game. Watching it, and I was even asking myself, well, what is the difference in points in the paint? It was 38-24, and I think that kind of just tells you just a little bit of the story, in that one. They did. They came out. They were very physical, and they made a statement. Justin Mitchell, a season best, 17 points for him. You get another 20-point game out of Trenton Gibson. It was just that, but you needed that other, and
Yes.
that other just didn't happen for you.
You got James West who's out. He's hurt. So when you don't have an experienced guy like that, you're trying to bring some other guys in that's inexperienced and never been in an environment. I mean, because that team right there is very, very disciplined too. It's the most disciplined team I've seen him have since he's been here, and they do a really good job in the half court. So you got to be disciplined on the defensive end, and not having that third scorer, it would made it kind of tough because we didn't have that third guy. You got Trent. Trent was going to get it. Big guys got in foul trouble. Will Better did, and some of the guys we just couldn't. It was unfortunate. We got open looks. We just didn't make them.
Andreas Wilson, a big difference maker in that. Their bench points had 42 bench points in that game, and he threw in 22 points in the contest. Wingate gets the victory, 92-75. Tusculum only played Wingate once last year, and was the opening game of the season, and so it was very early, in that year. A talented player in Jaron Cottenham, did a decent job against him. Again, it was the others that they had that were able to score a 22 and a 21-point game from individuals in that contest. And again, the first half was the difference. Tusculum outscored 50-33, even in the second half at 42 apiece. You turn the page, and we welcome in Newberry. And every game, every team in this league is going to present something different. And here you got a team that likes to get after the glass and likes to score in the paint and likes to be extremely physical. And it's a Jason Taylor-led team. You got that pack line defense, and they're going to make life very difficult for you. But again, a very good start for your team. You needed to have a good start, I think, in this game.
Yeah, going into this game, we prepared. I mean, we did everything we needed to do because this team had defensive rebound, offensive rebound, half-court defense. They don't shoot the ball exceptionally well from the three-point line, but they do a really good job of keeping you from doing that. And I knew going in the game they had one of the leading offensive rebounders in the country. Kind of challenged our guy, Brandon Mitchell, to that, and he responded. But when you got a team like Newberry who plays the pack line defense, they pretty much tell you you're not going to beat us on the inside. You got to beat us from the outside. And I thought we did a really good job of making shots early.
Take a look at the highlights of this one, and I'm not exactly sure that I've seen starts like this. There's no question about it. But without James West, that was the thing that was impressive. You saw just Jacob Hobbs. He's just made a three. You got Trenton Gibson knocking down the game's second three. You hit 4 of your first 5 shots, all of them from 3. Newberry's philosophy is, we're going to give you the 3 because you're probably not going to make them all night long. I'm sure they were thinking, oh my gosh, are they ever going to miss? Great start.
Yeah, what we did is we try to look, when you play the pack line defense, the skip pass is always open. We did a really, really good job, especially at the beginning of the game, looking for the skip pass. And you've seen some guys getting some open looks, especially on the skip pass. When you do that, it opens up everything else. And I thought by making shots, Trent hit 4 the first half, and we hit 7 as a team, and so when you get off to a good start like that, that opens up everything.
First half was big. Newberry again, they got back into it. You built an 18-point lead. They have a chance to make it a possession, where they're going to take a lead, and you come right back. Jacob Hobbs hits a big 3, and then maybe the exclamation point, this little backdoor, back cut for Jacob Hobbs, and you needed that next guy without James West to come in, and Hobbs was your guy.
Yeah, we knew. I mean, one thing about Hobbs, I said it last night in the post-game interview, that this kid has stayed the course. I mean, he went from starting, playing probably 10, 15 minutes a game to playing 5 minutes a game, but he never wavered. And the one thing about him is he just kept working, kept staying with it. So, I'm a big practice guy. If you do what if you practice well consistently and you play hard, you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to play. And he's earned that. And last night he kind of stepped up. He seen one go down, and that's all he needed. I mean, because that's the Hobbs that were recruited out of high school. Yeah. I mean, he's a legit, 6'7", 6'8", stretch 4, could play, the 2 through the 5 for you. And last night when he's making shots like in defending and rebounding, we become a different team.
We'll talk more individuals coming up, and I think more in the game in this one was rebounding. You've got to be able to limit their second chance opportunities. Quandavion McCollum, number 6 in the country in offensive rebounds, gets a lot of his second chance points that way, 14.9 points per contest. And I thought at times, I didn't realize he was on the floor at times, because I think you guys did a really good job making sure I didn't call his name very much last night. I didn't do that very much in the first half.
Yeah, one thing we try to do is limit his touches. I mean, you can't let those guys catch the ball deep in the post, because if they catch it in the post, they're going to score 9 times out of 10. And if they don't score, he's going to go get the offensive rebound. So, Brandon Mitchell, we put him on him, and Brandon did a really good job of not letting him get too many touches. And when he did touch it, he kept him off the offensive glass. And when you can do that, that kind of helps, because he's kind of the Achilles heels of that team. He gets them going. They play inside out. And if he gets it going on the inside, you have a long night. But I thought we did a pretty good job of containing him.
When there was a game of runs, there's no question. Tuskegee just had the bigger runs than Newberry. And when Newberry did have a run, McCollum was involved with it because he was getting second chance opportunities. Brown was penetrating and taking some shots. He was great on the penetration, but McCollum would clean that up lots of times, because Brandon loves to protect the rim. And he was out there a bunch to try to do that. And that allowed McCollum to be open. But you always had an answer. You always had somebody, even like KJ Crump, a kid that didn't take many shots. He wasn't out there a ton last night, because I think you did a nice job matching him up. But here's a young freshman that's taking shots and making some big shots for you.
Yeah, he does a really good job. You go look at the game, even against Wingate. We didn't win, but he plays, he's probably averaging 25 minutes a game as a true freshman. And last night, the kid don't turn the ball over. He had 4 assists with 1 turnover. When you could do that as a true freshman, and as much as him and Trenton Gibson handled the ball, that just a testament to him. I mean, for him not only not to turn the ball over, to make those shots, that's huge.
Huge game for the Pioneers sharing the basketball. 20 assists, 26 made shots last night too. We see that quite often, but I think it just stuck out to me because of the way Hobbs was finishing, the way Trenton was finishing, the way Brandon was finishing. Another big game, another double-double for Brandon. That's his 12th in his career. And you go with guys who are in it right now
Yes.
in the second half. And Brandon has been that guy finishing games for you.
Yes, he has. I mean, he the big thing about him is his free throw percentage has come up. It's not the prettiest shot
It's
in the
not
world,
pretty, right?
but I try to remind everybody 2 years ago he shot a little over 70% from the free throw line. It's not up there yet, but he's beginning. Like last night, late in the game, when he's trying to make a run, he made two huge free throws, and that was big for us. And he was finishing them. He finished with 12 points, 14 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
So if you get a kid like that to answer the bell, that you challenge him with, that's huge, and that changes our team.
Pioneers get the victory last night against Newberry. Again, they held an 18-point lead. They had that thing cut down to 2. They were a possession away from kind of losing the lead. Only one tie, so the Pioneers go wire to wire with that victory last night. Just some individual recognition. Trenton Gibson, another 20-point night. This is 4 straight games now over 20. He goes into 12th in scoring in school history, and it was not quiet last night. It was an explosive 20-point because he came out of the gate. But then he just settled in and went with the hot hand. And it was Hobbs who was kind of the hot hand for you. You got into Mitchell. And then when you needed him to kind of step up, then Trenton kind of took over. And I love that passion and that poise about him right now.
That's the beauty of Trent, because when he needs to score, he can. He started off the season. He missed the first 2 games. And then he started off a couple of games. He was shooting 18% from the three-point line. And I brought it to his attention. And now he's took that 18% and brought it up to 40% from the 3, and he's shooting a little over 45% from the field and 80% from the free throw line. Those numbers need to come up from the field and the free throw line, but whenever he settles in like that, that's the thing about him. He's not one of those kids that is going to be selfish. He could have kept the ball, kept shooting bad shots, but he did a really good job of, like you said, finding the open guys and getting the people in the right position to score.
Brandon Mitchell has moved into 5th place in rebounding now all time. Trenton Gibson is 11 points away from moving into 11th place all time. And again, there's a couple of games before Christmas. The way he has been playing right now, you would hope that he would jump in potentially even into that top 10 spot and scoring as well. Which leads me to this: the Pioneers on the road. Everett Sullivan's Lenoir-Rhyne Bears there. I think the only factor is, the helpful thing for us is the fact that school is out. There's the students, these Shuford Psychos necessarily won't be there. So a way to finish this pre-conference schedule before Christmas is get a victory. But it's not going to be easy there when we travel to Hickory.
No, because Coach Sullivan, I'm a big fan of his. I've been knowing him for a while. Followed him as a kid when he played for University of Louisville. And now Coach Sullivan does a really good job. And I tell the kids all the time, you can't go looking at the rankings, and you can't go looking at, because this league right here, as I said, it is going to be, the team that wins is going to have at least, I think, 4 losses, maybe 5. And Coach Sullivan's team right now, he got a whole new group of guys, and they're getting better. They're kind of up and down, but I'm telling you, last night they lost a really close game to Anderson, had a chance to win it with a 3 at the end, and that's where their games have been. The good thing about it for us going there, like you said, school's out. That I try to tell my my guys, that's all the new guys that haven't been there, that is one of the best places to play as far as environment, because those students get after it. But we got our hands full. I mean, it's right before Christmas. I don't think we've had a home game right before Christmas since I've been here. With the Queens, who've been there, so I think some of the guys is just trying to get them mentally prepared. Look, don't already be home before the game is over. So we got to go in and take care of business, and we started before I got up here. So
it's a Pioneer team that will take on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears 4 o'clock Saturday. You can listen to it on the Pioneer Sports Network. We'll be there for that. You can follow the live stream if you wish, but it's just not as good. Yeah, just to be real, the Pioneers take on the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears this coming Saturday in Hickory. Coach, we'll see you then. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
He's Pioneer coach J.T. Burton. We wish you a very Merry Christmas if we don't see you again until after the Christmas break, when the Pioneers will welcome the Wingate Bulldogs January 5th to Pioneer Arena. He's Coach Burton. Behind the scenes is Dom Donnelly, and I'm Brian Staten. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and go Pioneers.